Yeah, hello? Where voices, topics, and legendary stories come together? Yeah, I can get you connected. Switching to line one.
Welcome to Switchboard Podcast, episode 9. This episode's dope. We got Jeremy Pettit and Tim Peare. It's really sick because Tim and Jeremy were there for pretty much everything that's gone down from behind the scenes, taking photos, videos, editing. This is going to be a really sick episode. Check it out.
It's video time, kids.
This episode is brought to you by BYOB, Be Your Own Banker. I got a personal story. I was looking for a safe place to park my cash, be able to invest responsibly. Chris and his team had the answer. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only two types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money. What's up? Stevie Bell here, Switchboard Podcast, Season 1, Forum Chronicles. I want to thank the Money School, BYOB, Become Your Own Banker, and PMC, Private Money Club, for being a title sponsor. I'm really stoked. I've got one of my really good friends and travel mate, Jeremy Pettit. What's up, Jeremy? Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, Stevie? Happy to be here, buddy. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, my guy. We got Tim Peare jumping on here shortly, but as of right now, it's just me and Jeremy, and let's get into it. So, Jeremy, I know that you and I have a long history of traveling and making things happen. Let's. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your background, your Canadian little background there, your little Canuck?
My little Canadian background. Well,
no, just kidding. Yeah. So how'd you get into filming? Like, tell a little bit about your story and your background.
Yeah. So I used to make skate videos. I got my first camera when I was 19. Started filming skating in Vancouver. Started, just filming my friends and my brother and his friends, and very quickly started shooting with like the Red Dragons and all the Canadian pros. Made a bunch of videos, and then I actually met Sean Kearns through the Red Dragon video. Started kind of keeping in touch with him a little bit. The first snowboard video that I ever edited was called Game Show. I don't know. Do you know Game Show? It was a MacDog video. It was like a contest video.
I never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I never saw it though.
Yeah, so Kearns tapped me to edit that, and then or to edit Game Show, and then a couple of years later tapped me to edit the movie that forum video that we worked on together. And that kind of officially brought me kind of out of skateboarding and focusing more on snowboarding. And then from there, it was kind of game on with forum for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, a good majority. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy, do you want to elaborate a little bit on like the background of like who the Red Dragons are? Because I know that's like an iconic group of people from Canada.
Yeah, Colin McKay, Moses at Conan, Rob Sluggo Boyce, those are sort of like the three main dudes in the Red Dragons, which were kind of they were a skate crew out of Vancouver. They all went pro in the 90s and it lasted through the 2000s. And when I was growing up in Vancouver, those dudes and like a few other guys were like our heroes. Like they were like the local pros. They represented not just Vancouver, but like the whole Canadian skate scene, but they were international. Like everyone, Colin to this day is one of the best vert skaters in the world. Yeah. So growing up, me and all my friends just looked up to them. And when I started filming, I think like it was just around this weird time where like it was before cell phones. It was before people could edit on their phones or anything like that. It was like,
yeah,
like I had like, my first camera was a high 8 video camera. Then I got a digital 8 video camera, which was this weird iteration. And then I got like my first like 3-chip camera, which was like what all the skate filmers were using, and the Century
Was
fisheye
it
lens.
the Sony the VX or whatever? What was that
No,
camera
my
everybody used
first
for a long time? That
the VX 1000, but my first one was I think it was called like the TRV 900. It was a smaller one. It was really sick actually. And yeah, there wasn't a ton of people filming back then. And so pretty quickly, I started filming with Moses, who was like, one of one of the best street skaters to come out of Canada, or at the time, he was one of the best street skaters in the world. And yeah, he wanted to they had a brand called RDS. They had skate shops like in Vancouver and down in Encinitas, and they wanted to make a skate video, and kind of brought me on board to start shooting. And then, yeah, we just started traveling and shooting like all the best skaters in Canada, basically. They had a pretty big shop team,
yeah.
And, if you were like a big up and coming skater in Canada at the time, you were probably riding for them. So yeah, that was kind of like, that was my first big skate video. I made a couple other ones. Like I made one called North. I made North 2, Port Moody Blues. I worked on the Anti-Social video, which is McCrank's shop video. But the RDS one was like kind of the first big one. It was distributed all over the world. And
Sick.
Kearns was like buddies with those guys. And so when we were editing the video, we actually edited it. We did the edit at Dogger's house in Oceanside.
Okay.
Through Kearns. Kearns kind of hooked that all up. Dogger had an editing suite in Oceanside. So I went down there with Gary Pendergrass, RIP. He's a snowboard filmmaker as well from Canada, who worked with Sean, Dano Pendergrass's brother. Great guy. And we
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And him and
Yeah.
Sean always worked together. He was kind of Sean's go-to editor for a while and filmer. And so we worked together on that edit, and so Kearns would kind of come in and out of there that summer. Got to know him. And then a few years later, I heard he was back filming for Forum again, or directing for Forum actually. And we just started talking, and he's like, I need an editor for the Forum video. Do you want to do it? And I was like, fuck yeah. And then actually what happened, do you remember that team meeting? I think it was in Park City.
Yeah, it was.
When we
I
had
actually
that
have
first
the
big...
photo. Yeah. Actually, I had Jared and Knox and Dan on a couple weeks ago, and Jared sent me the photo. I have the photo of us all in that meeting. It was in Park City for sure.
Oh, sick. Yeah. So me and Kearns and Devin flew down for that meeting from Vancouver, and flying down there, I was just going to be the editor. But while we were down there, I think Kearns realized they needed another filmer to shoot some street stuff. And like, since I had been shooting skating for like 8 or 9 years, and I've been filming like some of the biggest handrails that were being done at the time, and like I just kind of knew how to shoot that stuff. He's like, do you want to do it? And so we decided down there during that meeting that I was going to film too, which was pretty rad. So during that time in Park City with all you guys, it went from like, okay, I'm going to edit to I'm going to start filming to, when you get back to Vancouver, you're going to get a laptop to start logging all the footage, and and then the rest is a lot of fun history.
Yeah. Were you on? I remember that meeting. Actually, that was my first time being introduced to everybody as well. I didn't know anybody, so I was just kind of like the new kid in the room. I was just looking around like, holy shit! There's
you and me
Devin,
both. Yeah, that was a crazy meeting.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. Were you on that trip we took the next day? I think to Idaho to go start shooting.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, Idaho? No,
because me, Pat, I think Jake Welch and JP, we went to So I can't remember what the city. I think Pocatello in Idaho, and hit that concrete ledge that I have the Nolly 50 on, and my video part in that. And then we went to Pullman, Washington after that. But I couldn't remember who was filming on that trip.
Maybe that wasn't me actually. Um, I do remember filming shortly after. Like there was this long rail that Pat maybe nose pressed or something, and I remember filming from like up behind, looking down the rail. But yeah, I don't know if that was like right after that meeting or not.
Yeah, we left like literally like the day after that meeting. I think we left the day of that meeting and drove straight to Pullman, Washington, or excuse me, to Idaho and started shooting. And I was like, damn, these guys don't fuck around. Like they get right after
That's
it, you know?
that's sick. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that meeting was like. I mean, I know it's kind of it's been told a couple times, right? Like that meeting is kind of a legendary meeting where it was like, you know, time to buckle up, boys. We're making a movie. There was some
Yeah.
talk of tape measures and really high standards, and yeah, I was just
Crazy.
sitting in there going like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like,
How do you think I
wow.
felt, bro? I only filmed one video
Yeah, I
before
know,
that.
you're ready.
And I'd only been snowboarding for like 3 years, I think, before this, or maybe 4 max. And I was just like
Yeah.
in this room with all these heavy hitters, and I was like, oh fuck, dude. Hope I can like, put it down and withhold the standard because I was nervous as shit, dude.
Yeah, well,
Super nervous.
you did great that year. Yeah, that was
Thank you.
that was a really fun intro to snowboard filmmaking. Like that whole thing, I was just like, went from because like I talked about that RDS video, and that was like sort of a big production. But then after that, I was doing a lot of independent videos and producing them on my own and distributing them on my own. It was very much like almost like indie skate filmmaking, and I was constantly just like scraping together funds and um, yeah, just barely getting by, and it was very DIY. And then all of a sudden, we're shooting a forum video, and we have like these huge travel budgets, and we're flying all over the world, and like it was just like it was really fun. It was crazy.
What seemed to be like unlimited budget almost, you know what I mean? That, at least on that year, it seemed like
Oh,
there was
yeah.
no end to the
Right.
budget.
Yeah, it really
You know?
did. Did you ever reach your cap on travel budget? Like, did you ever? You
Every
did,
year
and then
by
they
February.
would just they'd just give you some extra. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I maxed my shit out by
I
like
think I did
probably
1
the
year
middle
too.
of February, 1st of February, I'd have my shit tapped out.
Yeah,
But at first
Yeah.
it was remember it was Jenner Richards, which I love Jenner Richards. He was rad.
yeah.
But I mean, I would send in invoices and reimbursement with like PSPs and new PSP games and all sorts of shit that
Really?
was sliding by. Yeah. Oh my god, dude, all the time. And it was only that year that I was able to do that. But I would buy like so many games because I just need entertainment because we're traveling so much. And we didn't have like iPads and like laptops, so you could just like download or stream movies. So I would just play PSP games the whole time on the plane.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
yeah, it was good times, man. So, but let's
Yeah.
dive into it though. Let's talk about that because that was your first video. That was my first video. I know you came off doing like independent films and work with the Red Dragons and all that, but like once after that meeting and it was go time. What was your first trip actually? Do you remember where you went and who the crew was?
I'm pretty sure my first trip was to Stockholm. It was like, yeah, I went home from the meeting. I forget when that meeting was. Was it in December?
I think
kinda
it was in
forget.
December because it was in the very first of the year because I remember I was in college and I got my contract and I was studying for a test and I got signed, threw my homework in the trash, and then we had the meeting like a week later. So that had to be like early to middle December.
Okay, yeah, because
I
it all
remember being
happened
around my birthday.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
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 So I think I went home, did Christmas, and then like right after Christmas, it was like, okay, there's a bunch of snow over in Scandinavia. We've got a team rider, Kareem, over there who can like show us spots. You're going there. And I was like, sweet, okay. And still no idea what I was getting myself into. That was like, I had filmed like a little bit of snowboarding just with like the homies when I had my first video camera, like just up at the
Yeah.
local mountains in North Van, like nothing crazy, like just for fun. But I had no idea what like a street trip even looked like. I didn't know anything about handrail riding or any of that. So yeah, so the
Me
first
either.
trip was you had a little bit more. I mean, yeah, it was crazy, like just to get thrown into that. I think the first guys were, I think I met Yoni, Ika, and Lowry out there, and then Eddie showed up. So I think that was the first group of riders. And
Yeah.
as you know, it turned out I ended up staying out there for like a month and a half, 2 months, and Jenner just started kind of cycling through the team. But yeah, so at first it was Yoni, Ika, Lowry, and Eddie. And
Yeah, because I ended up coming out there like I think I want to say like somewhere around the first week or second week of January. I didn't come home till almost the end of February.
yeah, so I remember like Lowry got broke off pretty quick,
Mhm.
right? I think he maybe like broke his collarbone or something. And so probably that's when you came in, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Ika
'Cause
was
I don't
still there
remember
when you were
Laurie being
there.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ika was there. Eddie was there. I don't remember seeing Laurie there at all. So I think he got injured, and then I took his place on that trip. But it was like
Yeah.
Eddie, Pat was there, JP was there, Kareem, Yoni, Ika, and Travis.
Oh, damn. So then was that when Kearns was already there too? Like we had a couple
Yeah,
filmers
Kearns was
out
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
Kearns was
that's when
there.
that was. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, and Rob Mathis. Yeah. That was crazy. Like
Yep.
how many riders we had out there, and we were just going hard.
Dude, just murdering it. I didn't know I was getting myself into as well. Like, just get thrown into a trip overseas right away and just hammering every single day. You know, I was just like, kind of like mind blown, like, what is going on here? But it was cool because you learn, like, we had to learn pretty quickly, like, what was going on. And I think we all picked up pretty quick, you know. Oh, there's Tim.
Yeah.
1 second. Oh, you can add him from there? Oh, hang on 1 second. The Tim's joining.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Mr. Tim Peare. Yeah, dude.
Yo.
Nice
Look
to
at
see
that. Familiar smile.
you.
Yeah. What up,
Two of my
dude?
favorites. What's going on? Sorry to be late.
No, it's all
No
good, man.
problem.
I'm glad you were able to join. I know you had to take care of some stuff this morning.
Sure. I like your
Can
background
you hear
there.
us, Tim?
I can.
You like it?
Oh yeah, that's custom.
Hell yeah. Right. Well, I'll just get you caught up. Yeah, you like? We were just talking about that trip in Sweden. Tim, you didn't come on to. Well, actually, everybody. This is Tim Peare, legendary photographer in snowboarding. Spent a lot of time with Tim. He's produced some of the raddest photos, some of the raddest partying when he would let loose. But Tim is
Famous for partying.
Tim's an icon, and you know. That's me too. I think all of us here are pretty famous for it. But Tim, I'm really stoked to have you on, man, and be able to share some of your experiences from shooting with us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, we were just catching up on just that trip, but I know you didn't come on and start shooting for Form until, was it Form or Against Them?
It was no, it was right after that. No, it was former against them at the very end of that.
Forever.
It's confusing because that is that.
Mm.
Yeah, right at the end, beginning of Forever,
But
end of former against them.
okay, right, okay, yeah. Yeah, because I don't remember you being there for that at all. But yeah, Form or Against Them, that was the second video after that, wasn't it? Or was it the Special Blend video?
Yeah. Oh, special blend
the year
video.
after that we did special blend in a Foursquare video. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually where it started.
Oh yeah. Because So were you on? Did you shoot for the Special Blend and Foursquare video, Tim?
Part of the special blend at the Mount Hood shoot with Heine.
after that, when we started filming for that, you were we were talking about the crew that was there, but what was your overall
Mhm.
experience? Because I know that we ate lobster spring rolls, we had a lot of Heinekens, we spent a lot of time out there, spent a bunch of money, but what was your experience? You know, hanging out with some of the most legendary riders in snowboarding history, like JP and Yoni at the time, shooting with Sean
Yeah.
Kearns and Rob Mathis. But what was your overall experience?
I mean, the whole thing was pretty mind blowing to say the least. I mean, from so many angles too. Like some of it was just funny, hilarious shit. Some of it was like, I can't believe we're getting away with this. Like, I can't believe we're spending this much money. Um, I can't believe we're allowed to eat like this every night for dinner. Like, and then also just seeing like more serious stuff, like just like the work ethic and how these pros work and like the standards they set. But like some like one funny story that comes to mind is just how like when I first showed up, like working with Yoni and Ika and Lowry, like Yoni hadn't even snowboarded yet that season. He just showed up in Sweden and and his first time strapping into a snowboard was like at the top of this handrail, and he's like kind of warming up, like just warming up, not fully locking in and stuff like that. And he's just like, yeah, I haven't even strapped in yet. And then and that blew my mind. I was like, what? Like, you haven't even snowboarded yet this year and you're on a filming trip? Like, crazy. That was crazy to me. There were so many things that were crazy to me. Um, yeah, just even just like how yeah, like the rules for like shoveling stairs, and then like, but then you can put snow on the other side of the rail in case they fall off the high side, but you can't put too much. And like the jump can't be too high and like all that stuff. I was like, I just remember like that was just all like super funny to learn. Oh, like goggles, everyone's got to wear their goggles because they're sponsored, but in the streets they got to be like up on their head. And like I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Like I was figuring out how all that stuff worked, and it was all super funny to me. Um, and also like, yeah, the other thing that Eddie always kind of busts my balls about is like I showed up, I didn't even know what to wear. Like I just got a ticket to Sweden. So like I got these like waterproof jeans and like and like some Sorels like from Mark's Work Warehouse in Vancouver, and I had this like huge puffy jacket and like just showed up first day like pants stuffed into my Sorels, and like I was just like ready to work. And I noticed that, yeah, like the photographers were wearing like snowboard gear and like snowboard boots in the streets in Sweden. And like that to me, I was just like, what are you wearing? Like you're not going snowboarding. And they were like, what are you wearing? You look like a kook. And I was just like, what? I don't get this. And then I think like, yeah, after a few days, I think like Ika or maybe Kennedy, I forget, like probably, I think it was Ika and Lowry gave me some gear like out of their bag. Like they gave me some pants and a jacket, and yeah, then I figured it out. But it was even that was funny. Like I thought I was doing the right thing, and I just was not doing the right thing. Like everyone was just looking at me like, what are you wearing?
Oh, my waterproof jeans. That's hilarious.
I thought I was being super
what?
smart.
That is so funny. Oh my God. I didn't. I wish I would have been there for that part of it, because when I came, you were wearing snowboard gear. So
Yeah, Eddie was there. He hasn't stopped talking about it. But yeah. So I mean, it was all very mind blowing. I mean, the hotels, like when we first got there, we were just staying. Well, I mean, we always stayed at super fancy hotels. We ate really good at night. That stuff.
really good, bro. We ate lobster spring rolls every night.
Yeah, and like rack of lamb, and
oh,
ordered bottles of wine to the table. I remember like Cole Barish was there at the beginning, and I just remember like, and I barely knew any of these guys, and I'd keep going up to Cole like every day, like, are you like, do we need to call someone at Forum to like make sure we can be spending that, like, to make sure we can be eating like this? Like, are you sure we can be having steaks every night? Like, are we going to get in trouble? And he's just like, no, dude, like, we're out here working super hard in the cold. Like, we deserve this. Like, this is like, it would be silly for us to eat anything else and be staying at any other hotel. And I'm like, okay. But I kept asking him over and over again because I just didn't believe it. I was used to staying in like motels with like cramming like 5 or 6 dudes into a room and like getting like buck slice pizza for dinner, like on skate road trips, you know? And suddenly we're doing this. I just thought we were going to get in trouble the whole time. I was like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. Like I didn't question it because everybody else was doing it, so I just followed along. But like in the back of
Yeah.
my mind, I was like, this bill's gonna be massive. We're staying at the Lidmar. We're drinking a buttload of Heinekens. We're ordering the most expensive things on the menu. There's like 14 of us. But remember, it got to the point where they would just put things on the roller cart, put it in the elevator, and send it up to us, and then we just send the cart empty back down to them. We were in the suite upstairs.
Yeah, I remember that for sure. I remember, I mean, we just stayed there for so long that like once a week, the staff at the front desk would like call me because like since I had been there the longest, like I was like the liaison between like Jenner, the team manager back in California, and this hotel in Stockholm. And they'd call me down and be like, okay, we gotta send you guys a bill. We need another payment. Like, cause we were just racking up so much money at this hotel. So like once a week they would like fax the program head office, like the bill, and Jenner would like fax back like the credit card authorization form, and they'd get another payment, and then we could keep it rolling for another week. And it was just like, it was tens of thousands of dollars, like
Easily.
literally. Yeah.
Easily.
I think in the end, like I've heard we spent like 75 grand or something like that. That's the number.
I heard it was 96 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I gotta fact check this. I don't know, but
I would believe it though. But yeah, but
Sweden is not cheap.
But that's kind of like one side of it. And then the other side was like we were actually getting like a ton of footage. Like we filmed half the video out there probably.
My whole video part was Sweden.
Yeah. So like we were getting a ton done. Like people were doing super gnarly shit like all the time. Kareem like kind of gave us the key to the city in a way, you know, like he had the drop-in ramp strapped to the top of his Volvo, right? And
yes.
And like, you know, he took us to all his spots, and like, yeah, he was super generous with that. And yeah, it just opened up like so much, and we were able to just, I think even at the time, snowboarders were going to like Helsinki and stuff, but I think we kind of helped open up Stockholm a bit. And so in the video we had like a bunch of new spots, right? Like
tons.
Which is pretty important when you're making a video too. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. And then we went to Helsinki for like just a week and then came back and finished out there.
We did.
But I think it rained. I think
the party cruise to Helsinki. Party boat.
That was insane. That was insane. That didn't help the hangover that I already had, but whatever. But fast forwarding, so like after you know the movie that came out, what did that do for your career and like your reputation in the snowboard industry and in skateboarding? Because I'm sure it had a positive impact.
You know, yeah, that's a funny question because like I don't know. The thing is, I only worked for Forum in the snowboard industry. Like we were in such a bubble at Forum, I feel like, when I think back to it.
Super bubble.
So like, I think like, yeah, I don't know what it really did for my reputation because like, we just kept all working together. And I think within the crew, people trusted me as an editor, maybe. Like, I think when it came to like, yeah, I think that helped. So I think just within the crew and within our working relationships, like I was able to sort of prove myself a bit, like my filming and my editing. And so that helped. I don't know really outside of it. I mean, I think people like that video, and like, I know that, you know, people still talk about it because I see comments online and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, that was one weird thing about Forum. I don't know if you've talked about that or if you guys have felt that, but for me it felt like I didn't. It wasn't until after Forum shut down and I kept working in the industry, that's when I started meeting other people and like branching out and experiencing like the industry as a whole. But I always felt for a long time we were just in our Forum bubble.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
felt like
think
that
they
too.
called it
Tim,
the
how did you feel about
program. It was called the program for a
that? Yeah,
reason.
exactly.
I came from Vans
Yeah,
prior,
true.
and that was a
Mm.
different thing altogether.
Yeah,
And
well,
so to pop into Forum was actually really nice.
that's
How
rad.
how
Tim,
so?
since we're yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, how was it different? Like, how was it nice? How was it so nice compared to Vans?
Well, the thing is more independent on the van side. You had to make things happen, and then with the program, it was more structured. You had a lot of support. Knox and Keller were just lining them up, and you just showed up and did it. It's kind of like being a rock star. You don't book your own events. You just show up at the place and you gig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's the only structure. That's the only thing I know. I didn't ride. Well, I rode for Tech9 for 1 year, and it was just kind of like we didn't stay in hotels. We didn't spend money. We just scraped snow and made it happen. Then to get thrown into the program was just like it was like being a C-list celebrity to go to an A-list celebrity. You're just everything's top notch.
For sure.
Wild. How long were you at Vans, Tim? And what was your experience like? I know you shot with some pretty rad people, but you want to talk a little bit about your background and like all the people you shot at Vans before coming to Forum?
Sure. Or we could even back up a little bit further just to make it like continuous.
Let's do
So
it.
I was taking photo classes in Tahoe. It's like something I wanted to do professionally. I didn't know in what capacity, but snowboarding was my main point of view. And at the time I was in the dark room. I think I was in like a photo 3 class, which would have been like a large format photography class. 4x5 and up. Well, Ian Reuter was in there also, and he was already established as a big time photographer. And I don't know what happened in that room, but we connected, and I ended up getting a gig with him at Vans. It was like a really low paying job. It was like $5,000 for the whole year, but it was an opportunity, and that opened the door.
That's rad.
So after that, I uh, started working at Vance for 2 years. First year helping Ian. Second year, Ian went to Forum, and then I stayed on. And then Knox also went to Forum. So I should have mentioned that too. Brian Knox was at Vance first.
Sick. And then so what was your first video that you came on as a photographer?
I guess let's see what's the lineup. Jeremy would probably know the lineup the best.
It goes
Uh,
that the special
yeah.
blend videos and Foursquare, and then is it Forever, and then Former
No,
against them?
no. Then it's Former Against Them, then Forever. So yeah, it goes like Special Blend, Former Against Them, Forever, and then I think F It after Forever.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
So
didn't
yeah.
technically come on as a staff photographer until Forever, but I was
Mm.
shooting stuff on that as a independent, and also on Former Against Them and the Special Blend video.
What did you shoot on that? Because I like excuse me for my absent memory here, but I don't remember like ever
No,
shooting
yeah, it
anything
was
with
just
you
it was
on that.
one day. It was one day when Cole couldn't make it to Sonora Pass, and I went out with Jake Blavel.
Actually, I was out there in Sonora with Jake Blauvelt. It was just me and Jake for a while there, and then I
Yeah,
got
you were,
shipped to I can't remember where I went after that.
so it must have been right after that. It was just Heine and Jake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent me to a rail trip after like I was only there for a couple like 4 or 5 days, and then I got shipped onto a rail trip. It was kind of weird, but yeah, that's right. Okay, and then so after that, then you shot with the Special Blend video. Did you shoot Special Blend or Foursquare, or kind of a little bit independent for both?
Just Special Blend, and it was also just for one shoot. It was the Mount Hood shoot where they had like the quarter pipe with the gap. It was like well, it was like a hip. I don't know what you call that. It was like spine. It had a channel missing out of the middle that
Yeah, it was
had
the
like
spine with the
a
rail on the top of it.
yeah. Daniel
Hmm.
X ending.
The Kurt Heine special, of course, of course. We kind of got hosed on that one. The Foursquare guys got to go to Dubai. We went to Snoqualmie. God, I was really bummed about that for a couple of years. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, what? How are you guys gonna go to Dubai and we have to go to Snoqualmie? Like, what? We had a good time though. It was fun. So,
Yeah,
but
I was
yeah,
also
like,
supposed to go to Svalbard on that Foursquare trip also. But then at the last second, Rob Mathis got the
Mm.
job and went up there.
so you
Yeah,
got
I was
hosed
on
as
that
well.
one.
I bet
Whatever,
that was
Jeremy. We don't want
cool.
to hear it from you. We had to go to. Yeah.
That was
Sick.
cool. That was cool. Although
I
the
bet.
one I remember, like one thing from Svalbard that wasn't cool was like I was filming in like we went dog sledding, and I sat in the sled to film at one point, and I just remember getting like the dogs shit as they run, and I just remember I was like in the thing filming and like dog shit's like flying at me.
That's what you get for getting to go on those trips. Whatever. I don't feel
Yeah,
bad for
that
you
was
at
not
all.
the shot that I was going for, but that's what I got.
Wild. That's crazy. Sick. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's get into more of this. So, for did you say Forever was the next video? Because that's when both of you guys were. Well, Jeremy, you're already full time, but that's Tim. That's where your first like full time gig with Forum as like a staff photographer, correct?
Yeah.
That would have been Former against him. Former
Oh,
against
Forum or
him,
against
and
him?
yeah, and then Forever.
Yeah. So I come on. I'm
Forum or
pretty
against him was
late
a
to
dope
the
video.
game. Yeah. Like I was like for
Go ahead, Tim.
Forever, Vacation, and then whatever the last one was called.
Vacation, I think is the last one.
Now there's another one.
No,
after
there was
that.
one more. It was I forget what it was called too. It was like when things were
I
really
wasn't on the
dwindling
team.
out.
Yeah, I wasn't on the
Yeah.
team, so I wasn't around for that one. My last video part of those guys was Vacation. So yeah,
I guess that's what.
Um,
Yeah, that's why we forget.
yeah, for sure. Let's dive into Forum or Against Them. That movie I thought was one of the dopest ones we put out. Like just the whole overall like theme of the movie, the cover, the whole box and everything. Forum Against Them was really rad. There's some. I think we did some of the coolest park shoots during that movie. I don't actually be honest with you guys. I don't remember filming shit for Forum or Against Them. I don't remember filming any of that movie like video part at all. Do you have any recollections of like where we went, what we shot? I haven't watched these videos in years, but I don't remember. I remember that like it was yesterday, but I don't remember anything else.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah, like those in between years were sort of they're all mashed together in my head. I think like Former Against Him, Forever, and F It. Kind of. Yeah, I don't remember exactly where we were in those years. I would have to rewatch them too.
The only thing I remember from those is like the park shoots where we had all the lights and colors and stuff. And I remember doing that tree jib in Mountain High. I think Rut shot that photo, and then all the colored boxes and stuff that we were shooting on for the covers.
Yeah.
You edited the movie.
Yeah, I know, but that was a long time ago, dude.
That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was. It was like what, almost 20 years ago.
Were those
No.
like were those shoots for the special blend stuff that you were talking about?
I think they were, but I know that some of that ended up being like in the movie, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's I can blame
Yeah,
myself too. I was
it's
a writer in the
blurring
movie, and I don't
together.
really remember filming for it. So yeah, let's help clear this up. So Former Against Them. I think we actually did we go to Norway for Former Against Them?
No, that's Forever.
I think that was probably. Oh
Forever,
shit!
okay.
Okay, never mind.
We're so bad. We never remember. We don't remember anything. Oh my god. Let's
So
get
then
into
we
something we can
probably,
remember.
yeah, we were probably in Quebec then for former against them. Yeah, because
did
that
do
was
a
the one
big-
where
yeah, go
Pete
ahead.
came to Quebec, right? Former against
yeah.
him, or was when Pete had a good part. Am I right?
Yeah, he had a
And
good
he
part.
came, and he came. Pete came and shot some street with us, which was pretty awesome. And there was that
Is that
thing
when he
in
did the
Quebec.
switchback 3 into the castle?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's in former against him. Yeah,
I believe so. That's
I remember.
yeah.
Yeah. And Blauvelt
Yeah,
had that
Quebec.
like crazy year too, right? Blauvelt had that crazy year.
When did he
with
not have a
Sir-
crazy year?
Yeah. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty memorable.
I think that's
Yeah,
when we
that was
discovered
that was
Lady
the
Mary
Blauvelt
Ann's.
video for sure, for him transitioning into his new self. That's kind of what the movie was sort of about.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, his whole part was about. Yeah, that kind of hitting natural features and not really building cheese wedges anymore and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe so.
No more shaving.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
can remember.
All right. Well, and then okay. Well, Former Against Him was a great movie. Sorry, we
Solid
don't remember.
effort.
Yeah, sorry. Let's go, team. And then Forever's next.
Believe so, yeah. And Forever was like, I do remember like Forever is when we ended up winning some awards at the Trans World Awards that year.
J. John Jackson.
I have it actually. We won Video of the Year.
Yeah, Video of the Year. John Jay won Video Part of the Year,
Rider
I
of the
think,
Year.
and
Yeah,
Rider of the
I think he
Year.
won Rider of the Year. Yeah, both. I think he I remember him sweeping it pretty much. I announced a couple of the awards, and I remember giving John Jay Rider of the Year.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You announced that? I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Forever was a big one for us. I feel like
That was a big one.
Yeah. Knox was. Yeah. Knox was hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
sure.
I feel like that was the second video I did with Knox, and that was after that one. I had earned his trust a bit too, as an editor and stuff. It took a little while with him, I think.
Yeah, everything takes
Oh,
a little
yeah.
while
Well,
with Knox.
I remember for
Yeah.
oh, for sure. For sure.
He ain't giving it up easy.
When we filmed Forever.
No.
No. But we went. That's the year that we went to Norway for a while. Tim, you were there,
Yeah, that's where we met.
and Pettit, you were there.
That's where what, Tim?
What was that, Tim?
I was gonna say that's kind of where we met, I think.
Was it on that Norway trip?
Yeah,
Oslo.
I had
Yeah,
met
Oslo.
Stevie once before, but then we hadn't really shot together, and it was that flat down ledge with that wall on the side, and I just showed up to it, and you guys were already sessioning it.
Was that the one that Stevie gapped out to it?
Gap
Yeah.
the lip.
Yep.
Oh
Oh, I know what shirt you're talking about. Actually, it's funny that you say that because remember Pettit? I'd fallen on that silver down rail. 80% of them were silver. That rail I was doing front 180, switch 50, cab 3, and I got it, and then I fell and like split like a bone in my shoulder. And remember I was out for like a week, and I just had to sit at the hotel, and I was getting bummed out because I hadn't gotten any shots, and then that was the first shot I got after I was injured. Was that shot that you shot, Tim, the gap to lip.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was sick.
And
That
then
was awesome.
didn't Nick cab 270 or something on it or something wild?
I think so. And then came back out to forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
And
recall.
was that? Oh yeah, know Nick came. I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
I
I'm trying to
remember
remember
Pete.
more Oslo spots, and I'm like, oh yeah, he was there.
Peter was on that trip.
So, yeah, Pete
He
was
came
on that
out.
trip, and right next to that down flat down was like a wall ride thing, and he did like a backside 180 into it, like 270 style, I guess.
Oh my
Sick. Yeah, I
gosh,
don't remember that shot.
I'm
Oh
not,
my God. Yeah, we're
I'm
old.
not
'Cause,
remembering any of
who was
this
even
shit.
who was the crew? Like I know it was myself, Nick. Was Travis on that trip, or was Travis off the team by then?
Travis
I
was
don't
off.
think Travis was in Oslo. Yeah, I don't think he
Then
was in
who else was
Oslo
there with us? Was
Eddie
it Cam or
Eddie
Nico?
was in Oslo.
Oh,
Nico
okay, Eddie.
Nico was there.
Yeah,
Oh man, yeah. I remember a funny
Eddie.
story of Nico.
let's hear it.
I just remember like we were in Oslo for a while too. Not as long as we were in Stockholm for, but we were there. We were staying at the same hotel for a while, and like we got to know these girls that worked in the restaurant there. And Nico had been trying to get this one's attention, and she was like almost giving it to him, but not quite. And then on our like last night there, like one of our last nights there, we went out to the bar, and Pete had been trying to link up with Terrier the whole time because they're old friends, and finally got a hold of him, and he came to the bar to meet us. And these girls were like, "Oh my God, you guys know Terrier?" And like that ended up sealing the deal for Nico with the girl. Like up until that point, like he had been telling her like, yeah, we're pro snowboarders and we're here filming a video and all this shit, and it just like did not register with her. But then Terrier's such a legend and a celebrity over there basically that like that was the thing that like made her realize, oh, these dudes are legit.
I absolutely remember that.
That's
That was
right.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
What I remember mostly is
do
that
you
next
guys remember
morning when we
Tulins?
left town.
Oh, go ahead. Go
The
ahead, Tim.
next morning when we left town, we Jeremy, you had to return the rental car, and we all got on like a bus or something.
Yeah.
And I was pissed, wasn't I?
You were so mad.
So mad.
But what I remember is like Nico just like bending, like grabbing the girl and just like kissing her, like it was like a movie. Like he was like goodbye, blah 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 blah, and you were just so mad.
Final kiss goodbye.
And
oh man, I do remember.
what I remember
that's so
about
funny,
that rental car
that.
in particular was that we had started using the ropes inside of the car to slingshot people in, and it had like bent the hatchback like up and out like a tuna can. And I was like, I don't know how he's gonna explain that. Like, how do you tell the rental car like what happened? Because you obviously didn't get hit.
Right. We fucked up a few vehicles over the years, and I don't remember if I said anything in particular or if I just dropped it off and like left. But I just remember like back then I always had in my head like, do you remember the old CKY videos that Bam Margera made? And like there was one thing where he like completely fucks up this car, but like he bought the insurance on it and he just took the car back, and it's like, as long as you get the like the 100% coverage insurance, you're good. Like you can total a car and bring it back. And so like that's what I always had in my head in those situations. I would always get the insurance on our rental cars and make sure we were covered. And yeah, we fucked up a few.
Yeah,
I just
for
remember that last day we had the rental car was full of shovels, full of like a bunch of other like candy wrappers and shit that we just left in there. And I just remember Pettit walking in the bus, sticking his head in and looking at everybody like, really? Just hot. And we went pretty hard that night before, so we were all so hungover. And all of us were just kind of like, we were all just looking at each other like, oh shit, like which one of us is gonna get up and like go ride with Pettit?
Yeah, you guys all beat me down there because we were all hungover and moving slow, and I was the slowest one, so I got the hot potato and had to bring it back.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, we had a
man.
big night at you remember Tulin's, right? Where we all spent 90% of our time when we weren't riding down, but right behind the hotel. Tulin's was
Yeah.
dope. DJ Shorty and yeah, a couple other people there. Tulin's was really really dope.
Two lens. I do remember that. Oh
I'll never
man,
forget it.
those were the days.
This episode is brought to you by themoneymultiplier.com. It's time for you to take back control of your money. It's time for you to become your own bank. Visit themoneymultiplier.com for more details. Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only two types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money.
Let's get into something, right? We got some really rad shots there. I only remember pretty much 3 shots there. The one we talked about, the gap ledge, and then the wall ride, and then that big down flat down that was right on the highway. Do you guys remember that
No.
one?
Nope.
Damn, Jeremy, why are you even on here? Just kidding. Tim, you don't remember shooting that down flat down?
No.
I
Oh,
have
wait,
your
is it
shots.
super long?
Oh my god.
Was that the one Eddie? Did Eddie get broke off on that one? Was it that one?
No, I think I was the only one that hit this one.
Uh,
It was like like the freeway was right there, and it was it's down flat down. But it wasn't a really high rail, but it was just like kind of smaller kinks, but it was pretty long. But we have a really
Oh, I
rad
do
shot of that,
remember it.
Tim.
I do remember it now. Yep.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
Good
Good
about.
job.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then the only other one, and I don't remember what anybody else got, but like the wall ride that we got. That wall ride was dope at the ski resort.
Oh,
remember
yeah,
one?
that was
the green
sick.
wall with the white top. Or
That was like right at the end.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
you,
started
like, went
raining
into
right
the
after, like, pretty much
stratosphere.
after that.
Because you and Pete hit it, and you just went
Pretty
like
much at
up so high.
yeah. Remember it had that ski run in front of it, so you could get going. God, you mean you can go as fast as you
That's
want.
right.
And we just kept
I do
going
remember
bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I ended up getting above like where the colors changed to, and then almost to the top of it, which is scary.
And
as
I
shit.
also remember because it was like it was metal. The scratches just made a rainbow across the building.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fucked up a couple
Yeah.
buildings too.
God, we destroyed a lot of places. It's funny now because it's they can't come after us for a lot of the shit, but yeah. So, and then we don't remember much of Forever, but then after that we filmed Fuck It. But does anybody remember anything about Fuck It? I just remember the
Yeah.
intros.
Tons.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Go for it, Tim.
Okay, well, what I remember is we went to Helsinki. That was a big trip.
That's the time we stayed at the Klaus K, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that trip was rad. Like let's dive into that trip a bit. I remember, I think that was we went to the Klaus, or excuse me, Helsinki for that, but just really short period. But I remember like when we actually dove into the Helsinki trip, they had a lot of fucking big kink rails, a lot of big kink rails.
So many.
And it just kind of seemed like that's what we were on that whole trip. It was just as big as kink rails as we could find.
Yep, people were getting broken
Actually,
off.
I remember Tim. Yeah, I did too. I did a couple times. But do you remember Tim? Actually, I remember one shot like clear. We were shooting. I remember it was Super Bowl in the States, and we were shooting that long silver down rail that had the glass underneath it.
Mhm.
And I did frontboard pretzel, and I think because I know Nico and Cam were there, and I think Cam did cab 180 something on there because he's goofy. Do you remember that rail?
He did backside
those
180. I think he went backside 180, or was it cab? And then it was pretty rad, whatever he did.
Yeah, it was like a
Well,
backside
Oh, was it-
grind kind of.
That's the other rail. That's the one at the train station. I'm talking about the one that was in the building with the glass underneath it. Do you guys remember that? We lit it up at night.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I remember
I had the
that.
shot.
Hmm
I
You
am
know what I'm talking
remembering
about?
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was snowing.
Yeah.
That rail. Because then ended up yes, exactly. That rail was beastie. That was probably one of the biggest down rails I've ever hit.
It was steep.
And then it had the
God,
drop on the
oh.
side too. Yeah, and long.
So
Yeah, we
yeah,
had Posse as a
yeah,
tour
we had a good
guide.
trip there. I remember. Yeah, yeah, that trip was crazy because it was Nico, myself, Cam, I think Eddie and Yoni came out for a bit to come shoot with us, and
It was
Laurie
Nick
shot with us for a little
Save.
bit. Oh, Nick Salve. Okay, yeah. Because at that time, those guys were on DC, so never mind, they weren't there. But Yoni was there. Jeremy looks like he's hurting himself just trying to think about. What was
I'm
going
like,
on.
was I on this trip?
I'm pretty sure you were. Like, Pettit, I don't
Yeah, I think
remember a
we
trip.
had
I don't
Heine
remember
and
any trips
you.
that you weren't on.
Okay. I'm kind of was Helsinki where that like um concrete down flat down hubba that Nick gapped out to whatever
Yes.
Cab 270 did, and I think Nico like okay, that
Yes.
was Helsinki. Okay. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
there.
that's the one that Aero Etila either before he did Hardway 270 on it.
Yeah.
That same ledge.
That thing was
He
a
did a bunch
beast.
of tricks on it. Yeah, that was beastie. I think I remember the down road with the glass that we were talking about. I twisted my ankle, remember, and I couldn't ride pretty much the rest of the trip. So all I was doing was just shoveling snow the rest of the trip.
Everybody got broke off on that trip like pretty severely.
Yeah, Cam hurt his knee, and I just remember going to the airport. We got Cam a wheelchair. I'm hobbling
Yep.
on like some whatever crutch they gave me, and I'm pushing Cam, and I'm dragging board bags at the same time. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, and
Oh my
Nick went
god.
down on that
Those were the
that
worst
green down
when you
flat
guys would get
down.
hurt. Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
What
that
did
shot's
he
in the movie.
What did he do? Did he fall into the stairs on that?
I don't know.
I
It was.
think so.
I
I
think
I
he
just
was trying to
remember
That
it
was
was
a
a
sick
pretty
ride.
rough trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody made it out alive, pretty much.
Those trips always sucked, hey Tim, when the boys would get broke off. It was just like the worst.
Yeah, I learned a
The
lesson on those
worst.
kinds of trips is to get a group photo at the very beginning of every trip because invariably somebody was going to be gone by the end.
Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, let's dive into that because
Yeah.
from a rider perspective, it's one thing. It sucks to see your a homie go down, and then also it sucks for you to go down. But like, from a filmer and a photographer's perspective, like, what's it like dealing with riders and when they go down and they're injured,
I mean,
and you got
I
to sit
like
there and watch it. Like, what's go ahead.
yeah, for me, I just remember it really sucked. Like it just cuz you guys would go into every season with like such positivity and high hopes, and when I saw Welch like wrap his knee around the post of a rail once, and it's like instantly the season's like over, and I see it on your guys' face. Like it's just such a bummer, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I really didn't like it. I remember like, yeah, that was like the worst thing when you guys would get hurt. It was just like, fuck, like like you don't want you to be hurt seriously and have like a life-changing injury, which could happen with what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
but then B, yeah, just like to watch you guys have to go through that, and it's like, oh, like rehab's gonna start, and you have to switch your whole mindset. So I was always like super sympathetic and bummed out for you guys.
It was like a super
Tim?
thin line because on one hand you were there to encourage and push the progression and you wanted to make that happen, and on the other hand you also wanted to be a caretaker and make sure that like the rider was doing it because they wanted to out of their own heart and not because we were putting pressure on them. And you also wanted to be there and go through like every single thing that could be like, okay, what could happen? What could go wrong? And try to, okay, we need to put snow against this. And at that time, it was just getting gnarlier and gnarlier and gnarlier. And then Pat Moore kept taking it up like several notches. It just kept going. It was really scary. And I think it was actually closer to death defying than it was just simply getting hurt.
Oh yeah. Do you fuck, Tim, I don't think you were on the Japan trip. I think it was Reuter that I was with. Stevie, do you remember? You were there. Remember
Yeah.
that sick quarter pipe with a gap in it that we found, like that concrete.
Mm-hmm.
it was like what is it called, like a small amphitheater basically. It was like the backdrop to a stage, it almost looked like, and it was like perfect transition concrete with like a gap in the middle, and it was like
That's the one that was
we
right
were,
on the water, on the ocean right there in the
yeah,
background.
and
Yeah.
we were just like, game on, this is such a sweet feature. You can like gap over to like lip slide the top of it, or you could just do like gap tricks or whatever, like, endless possibilities. And we get there, and like back to back, Jake Welch and Nick Save both basically like like caught an edge on the way up or something, and like misaligned their trajectory, and like aired up and then fell down in between the gap. And it was like, I don't know, like 15 feet, 20 feet to like concrete. And we hadn't put snow down there. And it was because we didn't think anyone would actually do that. Maybe we put a little bit of snow down there.
Not enough to save anybody.
No. And yeah, we carried them both off the field that day. It was fucking brutal. Like,
Yeah, I do remember that.
It was brutal. And yeah, that was a death-defying one because, like, I think, yeah, they both kind of landed on like probably like their hips or their torso, but like, yeah, if they flipped out a little bit more and like landed on their head, that would have been, we would have been fucked because we hadn't put enough snow down there.
Yeah, I remember.
was
I remember
scary.
we shipped those two off injured
Mhm.
because I had to carry Jake Welch's board bag back to Tokyo. Remember, Pettit? We had
Oh
three
yeah,
board bags and all your camera equipment, and we decided to go party our faces off for a night. And then
do.
the next day, I had to carry Jake's board bag back to the States. But yeah, since we're on the topic, let's talk about some of the scariest moments that you guys have shot in your careers of filming and shooting photos with Forum. Do you guys remember some of the scariest features that you shot in the streets?
Yeah, at the end, it was the last year. I was with Pat Moore and Jake Welch in Anchorage, Alaska, and there was this big like parking lot that had a corner. They had like a corner, and they were jumping off. They wanted to jump off the top and like ride the wall down on the other side, but it was 4 stories. It was really high, and so the chance for something to go wrong was really high. Anyways, Pat went and hit it the first time and essentially just barely touched the wall and literally fell like 40 feet to the ground and was done. And then Pat's so
Scary.
tough that he didn't let us bring him to the hospital until after Jake got his shot. But Jake got it, and I thought it was going to be over. And I remember um, Nathan, he was like, I want to get a different angle. Can you go run the winch? So I went up to the top of the building to run the winch, which is not something I wanted to do. And that handle came at me like it was like crazy. And I put my hand up and it like shattered my hand. It just broke it and just blood went everywhere. And that was like one of the gnarliest days in the streets that I had personally.
That is so
Damn.
gnarly. I know what feature you're talking about because I remember when I got there, those guys had left, but we looked at that feature and I was just like, "There's no fucking way."
Yeah, it was insane.
Pettit, do you remember some of your scariest moments?
It's, well, I mean, Pat comes to mind too. Like that, like some of the wall ride kind of stuff that he was doing at the end, and even after Forum when I was shooting him for Red Bull and stuff. Like there was definitely some scary moments. I can't think of like one in particular. I've always, in my mind, like my sort of scariest thing I've ever filmed was a skateboarding moment. It wasn't, so that's the one I always go to, which was this dude I used to film back in the day, Paul Mack. Now he crooked grinded a 23 stair handrail, and it, like at the time that was like, I think that was going to be like the world record. Like I think that was going to, no one had done that before. That was a major NBD. And there was like no run up, little plywood drop in on 3 stairs to like a 10-foot section, and then a 23 stair rail. And it was
Wow.
like going to be probably his ender and like all this shit. And I was the only filmer there. And I just remember pretty much shaking. Like I was just so nervous because like I just knew if he somehow fucked up his pop or his crooked grind like locked and stuck, he would just be gone. He would be a goner. It was a super steep rail too, so he would have just flown to flat probably. So that's kind of what always, that's the one that comes to mind when people ask what's the scariest thing you've ever filmed.
Well, that's neat, Jeremy, but we're talking about
Sorry.
Thank you for that story. Has nothing to do with us, but great. I hope you got the shot. God.
Well, there was these like metal bears in Sweden, and Stevie was spinning around on these bears, and he attempted to jump from one bear to the other. It was like the bear to bear gap. That was also pretty scary.
Oh my God. I can't. Actually, you know what comes to mind? Pettit, I'm pretty sure you were there. Tim, I don't know if were you remember when we shot it was for vacation, and we were in Minnesota, and we found that stadium like at a school that had the bleachers that Jake was trying to gap over the bleachers down into the soccer field.
Oh yeah.
And the winch caught around his legs on the way over.
Oh yeah.
And there's a closeout rail at the bottom. Do you remember that? And he
that was
barely
gnarly.
made it past the rail. And I
such a crazy wipeout.
I was just
it was like he got
dude, I'm about to lose a
lassoed
homie right now, watching it. Yeah, that was probably the most fucked up thing I ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, that clip was nuts. That was like, I think we put that at the very beginning of his part that year.
I think so. Like the opener.
Yeah, those winches, man,
crazy.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. They are.
It's probably the scariest part of hitting any feature is the winch.
Yeah, or remember sometimes we'd tie a rope to the truck and wrap it around a pole, and then you'd get slingshotted that way.
Yeah, that was gnarly too. Do you remember also too on that trip, Tim? Remember that pyramid we hit that was at the school?
Yeah.
Like a concrete one where we were going off of it, me and Cam and somebody else. But my first run up, I had the winch in my hands. I dropped the winch handle going fast, and it hits the ground, and it was ice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick. Is that Cam?
It's Jake Welch.
Yeah, that's rad. Oh, Welch. But yeah, that's sick. I remember like when I dropped the handle, it kicked up ice and it hit me right in the fucking eye. And I couldn't see for like 10 minutes. I thought I lost my eye. And I was like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to hit this feature. But winches are some of the scariest. And then the bungees, remember the bungees we were using? How many times I went back and hit somebody?
Yeah, dude. All that shit was so insane.
Yeah, I know. I look back and I'm like, dude, what the hell were we doing?
Yeah, it's
Are
like
people
what happened to
still
the
using
drop-in
that
ramp?
shit? I don't know. I right. Yeah, that high drop-in ramp that fit in a board bag was great.
Yeah, that was rad. It just sucked if you had to be the one to carry it overseas.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but since we're on it, you know, I heard you say this earlier, Tim. Like the progression, like literally from that all the way through the forum videos, I just felt like everything just like you said, kept getting so gnarly that it got to the point where it wasn't even fun anymore. It just was scary.
Yeah, I agree.
It's scary. Like the shit that we were like, yeah, some of the gaps and some of the rails and all the other shit we were doing. It was just like I was just at night. I started to like have nightmares. Like I hope to God that tomorrow I don't get hurt or die.
Yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
I mean that ran across the industry, but I think the point, like the absolute pinnacle of that was really at Forum. And like I said, you guys had a lot of pressure on you to continue to progress. And especially when you go from that to Former Against Them to Forever to Fuck It to Vacation, it's only up. I mean, if you came in with the
100%.
That's why
soggy
there were
part,
so many injuries in those years. Yeah, the standards were always super high for you guys. That was a big part of it. I remember. I mean, what was it like, Stevie, like after the Forum years, not having that pressure on you, you could just snowboard the way you wanted? Was that a change or
Easy peasy. I didn't fear for my life every single morning. You know what I mean? Like, because you know how we go out, we scope, we look at rails, and then we know what rail we're gonna hit the next day, and it's like the anxiety, like falling asleep and the anxiety of like that feature in your head, and like trying to think of your trick. Just it just started to weigh on me over time, and I was just like, dude, I don't know if I can do this much longer. And then, unfortunately, when Forum went out, and I was just kind of just riding for some other brands, I didn't have to film a video part. I just rode the park pretty much all year for 2 years, and it was like, damn, this is easy. This is fun. Like this is snowboarding. You know what I mean? But I'm grateful for those years because it built, obviously, my name in the industry, and I was able to produce some pretty cool shit. But it was just, that's why after those 2 years after Forum, I walked away for 6 years and didn't touch a snowboard because I was just mentally just toasted. I couldn't even handle it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that pressure must have been so much. And there was also like the pressure for you guys of like who gets last part, who gets first part. A little bit of friendly competition.
And then also too, like there was other really, really good crews out there, other really good movies coming out at the time. So it's also the pressure of like, you remember we'd get to a spot and like, oh, who did what on this? Okay, we have to up it. And then having to compete with not just everybody on the team and what we have going on, but competing with other crews as well. You know what I mean? So it just became like just a pressure cooker, which was rad. I loved it, and we thrived in it. Obviously, everybody did really well, but it just became a lot over time,
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys feel the same pressure from like a filmer and photographer perspective?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a little more just internal pressure of just like always trying to do a better job than the year before. Like, just trying to like for me, Tim, I don't know. Like, and I'm sure for you too. Like, trying to like up your game on a personal level. Like as a filmmaker, filmer, editor, I was always trying to try new things and like incorporate new technologies and just try and do a better job than the year before.
Absolutely. Especially
and
like
seeing,
re-
yeah,
really in the sense of like that you have these guys as careers in your hands. You can't really mess up these shots. They need to be as good as the trick that they're performing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, and also, and even to tie in what Stevie was just talking about, like these riders are putting their life on the line. They're doing super heavy shit. So there's that pressure of just making sure that, you're not fucking up that shot at all. Like you owe it to them to do a good job,
Yeah, and I feel like
Absolutely.
everybody on the crew did a good job of like supporting one another from a filmer, photographer, rider perspective. Like we always had a good dynamic, um, cheering people on when they're going to, they're fighting through a trick or, you know, just whatever. The camaraderie was really rad. I felt like we had such good energy that helped push everybody because the morale got low sometimes when somebody would get injured or we wouldn't land a trick for a couple days or whatever. It's easy to get low, but I felt like we did a really good job of always lifting each other up.
That's good to
Absolutely.
hear from a rider perspective.
Well, everybody but you, Jeremy. Everybody but you. I just remember Pettit being like, "Come on, dog. Come on." I was like, "Come on. You don't want to try it again? Come on. Let's just give it a couple more tries. Let's do it again." I'm like, fuck. Okay, I'll do it again. But then it always worked out because I ended up getting it like a couple tries later, when I was like down. But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. You always cheered us on, man. So I'm just had to talk a little shit, since I haven't seen you guys in forever.
Well,
That's my
like
favorite
that
thing.
sketchy line Tim was talking about earlier too. Like riding that line of giving you a little extra push, but also you don't want to be the one that's like, can you try and like lock in a little bit better on that one, and then have you get broke off either. So it's like you're always just riding that line a little bit.
Or, oh man, I missed the
For
shot.
sure.
You got to do it again.
Oh, those are nightmare words. I'm glad I never had to
Yeah.
experience that because
Yeah.
that sucks. And I've heard a lot of heard those stories before.
I've had a
That was
couple of
that was
those.
my favorite thing about Forum
Did you?
though, is what you just mentioned was the team. Like being a team from the top down, like everybody from the top of the organization all the way down. It was like it was a cohesive unit, and that was awesome. As opposed to a bunch of
For sure.
It really was.
individuals trying to do their best.
Yeah, there. It had to be right. Like we had to work as a team because that was what was great about it for us is like their whole marketing campaign was based around like videos and photos and like these trips, and like it was all just such a huge part of the brand. And yeah, we all had to be somewhat on the same page to make that actually effective.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you have like a crew of people where there's 4 regulars and 1 goofy, like come together and been like calling out tricks. We'd always be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, or whatever. And like I always felt like we always handled it pretty well. Like, all right, cool, you're gonna try that, I'll try this, because we're always in crews of 4 and 5, which made it kind of wild. But from you guys' perspective, shooting 4 or 5 people doing 4 or 5 different tricks, you guys had to change angles all the time. What was that like?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was just kind of part of the job. And then so you sort of, once you figure out who's going to do which trick, you start to figure out which angle is going to work best for which trick. And hopefully you can kind of like time it around that a little bit. Certain camera angles work better for different tricks. So you tap into that sense a little bit. I don't know. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like that's it. It's like each trick has its own angle.
Yeah. So it's nice when the riders like call out what they're going to do first, and then you could start to figure that out, and then you have a little game plan.
Unfortunately, sometimes a spot just would have one angle though. You ever go to a spot, it just had one angle?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, no, this is the angle. And so whoever was going to do the right trick for that just kind of won.
Right.
By default. Yeah. It's the good old days, boys. The good old days.
What were you saying? What were you saying about Eddie? You guys were talking about this or something?
What's your favorite video or project that you guys worked on? If you had to put one up there, what's your favorite video project?
Go, Tim.
Okay. Geez, those were all so cool. And I guess it depends on what you mean by like the favorite, like doing it or the results of it. The results of it, I liked Vacation a lot because we got to go to Mexico and do the whole European vacation tour. That was pretty much as good as it gets. And maybe,
Facts.
yeah, and
I
maybe
agree.
for the doing it, it was Fuck It. I got to spend like a month with John Jay in the backcountry, and he once again got Rider of the Year and Video Part of the Year, and it was pretty special to watch.
I bet it was fucking insane to watch in person.
Beastie.
God, yeah, he was on a tear.
Still is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Have you got him on in here yet?
Yeah, I had him, Blavel, and Ika last week.
Sick.
Oh, sick. Yeah, for me, yeah, to sort of answer it how Tim did, I think like experience wise, like that was just such a eye-opening like life game changer for me. Like that first year working on that with you guys, it really was like I look back on it and it altered the trajectory of my life too, like so much. So it was just like such a big year, and every experience was like so new, and yeah, just like so much fun, and yeah, it was incredible. And then probably for results wise, I think like from an editing perspective was It. I think like that year was really cool because like I said earlier, like I think with Forever, I felt like I sort of proved myself to Knox a bit, and he let me go a little more creatively on It. And also the title of the video was just like, fuck it. And there was no creative around it. It was just like, okay, the video is called Fuck It. And, you know, my interpretation of that was like, okay, fuck it. Like every intro is going to be different. There's no fucking rules. Like we're just going to like throw the kitchen sink at this thing and see what we come out with. And so creatively, that one was like just super fun. Like that was a super fun edit. So yeah, those are my answers. It and that.
Yeah. I think Everett was dope because like the intros were so unique, if you will. But I'd say from my perspective, Vacation, and the only reason I say that is because one, we did go to Mexico and shoot a lot of shots and shots of intros too. But that was the first year that I actually like didn't get injured and was able to film a full street part. And
oh yeah, you had an amazing part.
So
in that
I was
video.
like, I was stoked on that. But do you guys remember shooting my intro? I don't know why you guys put me last, but I was pretty much the last intro of the trip. So I'd been there for 4 days partying my face off. So when it came down to doing my intro, I was hurting. I was hurting. And then you never like just sitting at the pool and I've got the white tank that we got painted on me and
Yeah.
like my Noah Black suits. And then like just seeing all the people start gathering around, just looking like, what the fuck is going on here? That was the
Yo.
craziest experience of my life.
Yeah, we were just filming that at like an all-inclusive resort, right? Out by the pool at an all-inclusive that was like packed. And people were just like, what the frick is going on here?
That would never fly in today's like in these days at all. But
no,
I
for
thought
sure
it was
not.
hilarious though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we even really knew what was going on there. It was just such a wild idea.
That trip was really funny because we had to bring all that
Uh,
equipment into
the reverse.
Mexico, you know, like a lot of like gear, like photo gear.
Yeah.
And I had done a lot of research, and you had to get like, you know, these carnets and all this stuff to like get through the border. And then when I finally got there, I talked to the guy, and I was like, I have, you know, like over $10,000 worth of gear here. And he's like, it doesn't matter. Go push that button. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you that I'm bringing in all this gear. He's like, you just have to push the button. And I was like, that's it? So I went up and pushed the button,
So-
and it turned
So
green.
he didn't
and I
even
was
look
like,
at the carnet or anything?
nothing.
Oh, man. That's
Yeah,
funny.
Mexico-
Yeah, you never know at those borders.
Yeah, wow. Mexico was wild. Like that whole trip was just wild. The intro or whatever, where the waves coming off over us, that shit hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the short pound. That was crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost died on
I
that
I just
trip
can't believe that
twice.
was even a thing. I can't Did you?
Everybody did.
Like in the short pound like that?
Yeah, twice. Once because I had brought out like a housing for my camera, but I'm not a surfer, so I didn't realize that you needed fins. So I like, went out there, and I was pretty much just drowning with this camera because I couldn't swim. And number two,
Oh shit.
I went skinny dipping one night after like, you know, taking shots. I think it was the night where like Peter ate the, you know, the little thing inside the tequila from Pat, and Pat was all mad about it. And
The worm.
the worm, yeah. And I went out, and it was at night. The moon was out, and like the shore break, it was like a 12-foot shore break, just blasting. And I got out there past the thing. You couldn't see anything. And then I thought I got past it, but then I realized that I wasn't past it, and I scorpioned into the beach, and then it dragged me out, and I was just like tumbling underneath the water for like I have no idea how long. And then finally I popped up and then like ran onto the beach fully naked. But I thought I was
Just
gonna
butt
die.
naked. Oh my gosh.
There's-
That would have been a
yeah.
pretty funny way to go. Buck naked in the short pound in Mexico.
So later that
Body
night,
recovered, butt naked.
Later
What
that
was
night-
Tim up to last night?
I took a ladder that I got from housekeeping, and I put it up to the building so I could get onto the other ladder, and I climbed to the top of the roof, and I passed out. And when I woke up in the morning, it was like noon
I
in
remember that.
Mexico. I was like burning on the top of a roof.
Dude, that's like the plot of the movie Hangover.
That was
The
just
guy's just on the
same
roof.
thing. Dude. Oh my god. That is insane. That's so funny, man. What killed us was the damn tequila spouts in the rooms. That's what killed me. Every day I'd wake up and hit that hard just to get the day rolling, and then day drink all day long and had nothing to do and just get in trouble. But yeah, there was some wild shit that happened in Mexico.
Yeah.
Remember Austin,
Oh,
like putting him in that
yeah.
like Mexican wrestler mask at that Bull Stadium?
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Yeah. That was so fun. He got right into character.
Dude, man, that's yeah. Oh my god, I still actually have I can't remember the name of the club, but I actually have the tequila bottle that has all of us, a photo of all of us in it, and it's on the tequila bottle. Remember, you could order those. I still have that. I saw it the other day at my house.
No way.
Nice.
It's pretty. We all look like we're in rare form. Yeah. We look great shape. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that was good times. Yeah. Well, since we're on the topic, what's you guys' most memorable forum trip that you've ever been on?
I could go first.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, Stockholm, Lidmar. Like I lived at this hotel for a month and a half with like a 2-week trip to Helsinki in between. We talked about it earlier, but that for me was like probably the most memorable trip I've ever been on. It was just even just like aside from like the work aspect and filming and meeting all you guys and forming friendships and all that, just like that, we stayed at the sickest hotel room. It was all individually designed rooms. Like every room was different. It was like this artist hotel room, like boutique place, and they kept having to move us all. Like none of us could stay in the same hotel room the whole time. We'd get moved like every week, right? Because they'd have other guests that would book that particular room. So like by the end of the trip, we had each stayed in like 5 or 6 different like super dope rooms, and we were just eating the best food. It was just such a memorable time.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, bro. What about you, Tim?
I think I would just point back to that John Jay, like that 3-week, 4-week period with John Jay. It was in the Sierra Buttes. It was actually pretty close to my house, but we didn't really go back and forth too often. We ended up finding this town called Grey Eagle, and they had like these really nice accommodations it was like a secret. And so we were super close to the spot every morning, and we just did the same thing every day. But he would just lay it down, so you would just come back with like so many shots. It was really something special.
I bet. John Jay's an absolute animal.
Yeah,
I'd have to say that my favorite trip was the vacation tour.
like the actual tour.
Vacation tour was ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
hell yeah.
I can get
Hell
behind
yeah.
that. I thought we were talking about snowboarding.
Because hell no, we're just talking about trips in general.
Then it was
obviously we had
definitely the
premiere in Huntington
vacation.
Beach at the Black Bull, and and then
What was the tour?
got on a plane. Oh my god, we did the first stop was in Huntington Beach. Remember they set up the TV on the beach, which was ridiculous, and then we partied at the Black Bull, and then the next morning we flew into Germany. We went straight to Oktoberfest, had a sick table in Oktoberfest, got absolutely let loose, and then we just started we hit like 10 or 15 cities or whatever, and on a tour bus, which was like our tour bus was ridiculous, dude. And it was just the wildest thing I've ever gone through, because I did
It was
that
Metallica's tour bus.
Yeah, I did that tour and I did the Fuck It tour on a tour bus, but nothing was like Vacation. Vacation was absolutely like out of this world.
Wow.
No, we did 14
That's sick.
countries
Were you
in
on
10
that, Tim?
days.
You were.
Yeah, I was. 14 countries in 10 days. It was spectacular. We were on Metallica's tour bus, and we had their driver. It was so fun. It was like an unbelievable experience. And all the locals in each place just really brought their best and took care of us. It was a fantastic exploration of Europe.
Oh, it was insane.
You're making
Do you
me so
remember?
jealous
Do you
right
remember
now.
when we were going? Do you remember, Tim, when we were on our way into? I think we were on our way to Barcelona, and Daniel Ek was standing out, or like out of the roof of the bus, and we got pulled over, and they pulled all of us out of the bus because of Daniel Ek, and like they were so pissed. Everybody was so mad. Obviously, nothing happened, but there was just so many things that happened on that trip. And then right when we got in there, do you remember when Pat ran away? And they took him like an hour to go find him.
So we all got drunk at
That was the first night on
Oktoberfest,
tour.
and
Why
Pat
did he run?
just ran away. He just ran away into Munich. Everybody was left standing there like, where did he go? He just ran away. That's something he does when he, goes there. yeah, he just ran away, and it took him forever to find him.
Right.
And then we drove to Austria that night.
Oh, that was crazy. It was like we had a pretty sick schedule. Get in at night, in the morning, wake up, shower, hotel if we had a hotel that night, skate, lunch, come home, shower, premiere, party, back on the bus, gone, do it over again.
Yeah, it
Sounds
was
epic.
special.
It was epic. I probably lost 5 years of my life on that trip.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot too. If you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
It was. I think I slept for a week when I got home.
Yeah.
2-week hangover when you get back.
Oh God, it was terrible, dude. It was terrible. The flight home was the worst part because I was just sweating.
They usually
alcohol.
were. They usually were.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? I mean, we all got pretty loose. Yeah, I'd say.
It was the best. I'll never
Crammed
forget
in a
that.
bus, just drinking all day, every day. Never.
Just really like celebrating.
Yeah, totally sick. We did some sick activities too. Do you remember we went? Yeah, do you remember we went paddleboarding in I think it's called La Côte, France, like
Yeah,
and that we went paddleboarding like in that sick blue water in France. That was ridiculous.
yeah. We
Got a
did
picture
that.
of
We
all
did
of
the
us.
F1 cars in Italy. Skateboarding in Barcelona. It was sick.
And in Zurich, we hit some skate. Like, remember that little skate park we hit in France with all the graffiti and shit around it?
Yeah.
That little street park they had at the shop.
Yeah.
That one was sick too. I actually still have some photos from that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Tour was
God, where
great.
was I? Why didn't I get invited on these tours?
I wish you were there,
Oh,
Pettit.
no, dude, the tour was ridiculous. Did you never do a tour at all, Jeremy? Oh, it would have taken it to another level.
No, I didn't. No, I never did. Maybe maybe it was just because I worked all summer on those edits. So, and then we'd premiere it we'd pretty much work up until the premiere. So I think I probably was just like done and just like, needed a break and
Yeah.
couldn't go on a trip like that.
You would be exhausted, dude. After
Or
everything
Knox and
then
Keller
you're-
just wouldn't let me.
I don't know. They're probably like Stevie, Tim, and Jeremy. No. Let's take one of them out. Let's take one of them out.
There was a few of those talks over the years. There was a few
Oh,
of
for
those talks.
sure.
So, like, let's be honest.
I think that's why Keller came to
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Tim?
Helsinki. I think that's why Keller came to
Mm.
Helsinki to babysit
Just
us.
to put the lasso on us.
Yeah, but he kind of
that
failed.
makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
We still did it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Love you, Kevin, but we nothing changed. Just another
Yeah.
voice in the background, really. Oh man, that's fucking rad. Let's
Yeah, you
you
can.
guys want to take a quick?
We were.
Go ahead.
We were. What's that?
No, go ahead,
Huh?
Jamie. What were we gonna say?
Huh?
Huh?
Oh, I was just gonna say like nothing could get in the way of our YOLOing back then. We were just like, we were living it up every chance we got.
First
I
chair,
kinda
last
feel-
call, baby. We live by that.
I think I'm like just realizing this now, but like I think it was just like a way for us to balance out like how crazy filming was, and then you could just be like, you would go hard that way, and then you would go hard this way. Because if you were just all pent up, by the end of 10 days, you would just be a lunatic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
For
wouldn't
sure.
have been that would have been no fun, and just that would have just been everyone would just be so stressed out if that was the case.
yeah,
So
for sure. No, I mean, I felt like we had a good balance of raging and filming. We would always get things done. Have a few beers every night. Maybe a couple more than a few beers, and then at the end of the trip, it was just like, oh yeah, we're going hard.
yeah, we
Going hard.
usually have one good rap party at the end.
Yeah.
Like there was no flights home that weren't just brutal back then.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started putting the barf bags in. I never threw up on a plane, but I started to like collect the barf bags and just have them in my backpack in case I needed it. Because oh my god, dude, there are so many times when you flying home and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And it's to the point where like even having a couple more beers on the plane doesn't help at all. You're hungover.
Yeah. Some might say we had problems back then, but I don't know.
Yeah, true. All right.
We had solutions.
Switching
We had
gears,
solutions.
Let's talk a little bit more about our That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
We always
what's up with
we always delivered, right? You guys got the shots, we got the shots.
That's what I'm saying.
which shots?
Not yeah, the good kind.
Yeah.
Kind that feel good at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think there was any brand rivalries during our day when we were filming the forum videos, like rivalries with other companies out there or other crews?
I don't know.
I wouldn't say
Tim,
brands,
what do you
but
think?
some of the film companies. Like I don't even recall who they were, but I just remember filming in Whistler and like literally racing to a jump spot, like side by side
Mm.
racing another film crew to a jump spot to see who could claim, the spot.
Right. Yeah, I mean in the streets there for the most part we wouldn't have to worry too much about other crews, but occasionally we did. Like I remember in Quebec there'd be some other crews that would be there at the same time, and we'd have a little bit of that. But I wouldn't know if there was, like, again, I always felt so insulated in the little forum bubble, and I hadn't come for, like Tim, I hadn't worked at other brands before. I didn't really know people outside of our little bubble in the industry, so
Yeah.
I wasn't really aware of that. Was there for you guys, Stevie?
I don't think there was like a lot of rivalries. I mean, there were times where we'd always be kind of like watching and hearing through the grapevine of what other crews have done, tricks on rails, and then trying to up it. You know what I'm saying? There's and we talked about that earlier, but that's kind of that sense. But other than that, not really. I mean, there's a lot of good crews, a lot of good riders at that time, and I don't know. I think we kind of just, like you said, stuck in our bubble and didn't really care because we knew what we were producing was going to be dope.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'd be curious to hear other people's opinions. I mean, I've heard, right, I'm sure not everyone loved everything we were doing either. Like I'm sure other crews had their own opinions about stuff, but I think for us we were just kind of doing our thing, and as long as we were all kind of happy, that's sort of what mattered, I thought.
It would be interesting to hear from like other riders' perspectives that are outside of forum that were,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, like just kind of hear from them. So
Mhm.
I'd say you guys probably had a target on your back. Like people
I
would
think there's
target
a little
you,
sense of that. You know what I mean?
but like we weren't doing it to other people. It's like Forum is kind of a big dog, so you kind of point at the big dog. You go, there goes that big dog.
Mm.
That big dog's pissing on
Very
that
big.
lawn
Yeah,
over there.
I'd say so too. Um, yeah. Next question. What's what do you think, from you guys' perspective, the whole time that you're at Forum and the movies we produced, the projects we put out, what do you think the impact we had on the snowboard industry in the whole? Like, what do you think? What was the impact do you think we had on the industry?
It was setting a benchmark.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's a tough question. I mean, yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously the the forum videos and the crew that came kind of before our time had a huge impact on snowboarding and the culture in general. Um, Maybe like once we got involved, I think there was some like holdover of standards that never really went away. Like we joked about that first meeting at that, where there was like talking about bringing tape measures into the backcountry and measuring jumps and stuff like that. And there kind of always was this standard to like just go fucking huge and progress and um, keep going bigger and bigger. And I think maybe at times when some of the other folks in the industry were like lessening those standards a bit and getting a little more into having fun and just showing fun stuff, you guys still were under pressure to send it. Um, so whatever that may have done.
Well, I mean, I agree. I think there was like some rollover from the Forum 8 onto our team to like kind of withhold the standard that they kind of set as the benchmark. And I think about that not a lot, but sometimes like, damn, did we hold the standard? Did we produce enough to like, have people not speak about us as they would the Forum 8, because that would never happen. But I felt like our team did a really good job of producing good movies that carried on that Forum legacy after the Forum 8. Those are big shoes to fill, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that can't be
Yeah,
how do you
filled.
guys feel
huge.
about what
Yeah,
never?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
yeah, it's
so.
exactly.
I think I mean I'd like to think that you know that you guys really gave it everything and people respected it. It seemed like from the audience and the accolades and this and that that it was pointing towards a yes.
Yeah, we were certainly everyone was trying their best to uphold certain standards, and um I think like, even the brand as a whole was just like we talked about earlier, like supporting that vision and that push to just go after it, and giving us all the tools, pumping money into the projects year after year, helicopter shoots, frickin' endless travel budgets to just stay out there and film if it's good. And yeah, I think everyone just did their best to keep that standard high.
Well, we knew if the jump was too small and the rail was too small, you might not have a job the next week. You know, like if we sent the footage over to the in-house guys and everything was small, we'd all be fired.
Yeah, it seemed like there certainly was like a type of precedent set, and a pressure on you guys to like, yeah, things had to be big and gnarly, which made for great videos, man. Made for great video parts.
What am I asking? What am I answering?
uh,
This episode is brought to you by BYOB. Be Your Own Banker. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only two types of people in the world: people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money. Do you think there's like key players behind the scenes? Who were the key players behind the scenes for all the projects we did that pretty
There's
much helped make
absolutely
this
no
thing
doubt
come to
that
fruition and
Brian Knox was the head of the triangle for sure.
facts?
Yeah, Knox and Keller, in the earlier days, like Evan Rose, Jared, um, Kearns when he was there for the first year or two. But yeah, through the most part of it, once Knox got on board, he was the spearhead in the whole thing, and he was the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in house that were killing it for us. I can't remember which one of you guys mentioned it earlier, but from the top down, I think it was you, Tim. From the top down, it was just like everybody was on the same page, and that's what I liked about being at Forum. Everybody was always on the same page, except that one trip that Keller sent us to Buffalo, New York, and there was no snow on the ground. Other than that, everything was smooth.
But I think that trip sparked that first Oslo trip,
I think it
didn't
did.
it? Because
Yeah,
we
that's where
got
we
to
went right after.
Yeah, we landed in Buffalo. We were like, "Hey guys, there's no snow here." There's like 5 of us in Oslo. Like, yeah, no snow here. And then we drove to New York and posted up in New York for a couple days while they figured out for us where there's snow. Like, I mean, we heard it was snowing in Scandinavia, and basically Keller booked us all a trip to Oslo, and that was our first time there. So that ended
Yeah.
up being a pretty rad.
Yeah, all we did in Buffalo was eat buffalo wings and drink beer.
Yeah,
That's
we
all
went
I
to
remember
that
doing.
famous wing shop,
Yeah,
whatever
that
it's
place.
called.
Yeah, that was sick. Do you guys remember? I remember when we were coming in, landing, like, RIP to everybody who died of that plane crash. But my plane was the plane right after that plane crash that came. Remember that? Going in, there's a plane that crashed in the neighborhood right before the airport. And I remember coming in for our approach and seeing the flames. And it was snowing pretty hard, but it was also like kind of sleet, like rain snow. But I just got off the plane and my phone was just going berserk. Like
Wow.
Keller and other people calling me and texting me, and I was just like, "What the
Dude,
like?
I don't
What's
remember
going
that.
on?" And then like I just thought it was a fire, and then I saw on the news like on one of the monitors in the airport that a plane had went down, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Like that could have been anybody. You know what I mean?
Jeez, yeah.
I'll never
Wow.
forget that. That was wild. Actually, I have a friend who his wife's uh, sister-in-law or whatever, or friend passed away in that, which is unfortunate. But that's one thing I do remember about that trip, just being like, "Damn, that was wild." It was coming down hard. You couldn't see shit.
Yeah, we've
Yes,
all
yeah,
been
I
on a
guess.
lot of. I don't remember that, but I definitely thought about that all the time with all the flights we had.
I was
Dude,
kind
going
of
into like
just
Houghton, Michigan, and on a prop plane.
I always kind of just signed off. Like, if I'm getting on this plane, then I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm like choosing to be on this plane. So whatever, come what may. And you'd get these
Mhm.
turbulence, and I just remember the people around you would be like literally freaking out. And I'm like, I already signed that contract. Like right when I walked in, there's no reason to freak out. I asked for this.
True. True. Actually, that's
Smooth. That's a good
yeah.
way to play it.
Do you guys remember your scariest flight you've ever been on for a snowboard trip?
I just remember, like, for me, there was like it was a overseas flight to Europe, and we were like in the middle of the ocean, over the middle of the ocean, and hit some turbulence, and the plane dropped like 8,000 feet or 10,000 feet like at once,
Wow.
and just like everyone's faces thought they were gonna die. There was shit falling out of the overhead compartments. It was like I was scared shitless, and it was that was by far the scariest moment on a plane that I've been on. Yeah, it was
Damn.
heavy. Just the look
That's
of
scary.
like
That's a
whole
lot of altitude.
yeah, you just look around and everyone's just white and just thinks they're gonna die. It's gnarly.
I don't
Yeah,
have
Tim?
any recollections myself. I just, like I said, I checked out mentally as soon as I got on that plane.
I love that.
Yeah, like, fuck it. I think
That's
the
cool.
sketchiest for me was I don't know who was there, but remember when we shot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Copper Harbor?
Yeah, that would have been Nathan Yant
It's
and
just this little town. But I
Ian.
remember flying into I can't like maybe, but I was on this little. I came in late. I don't know why I was the last one on the trip, but I was on this little fucking prop plane that had like 10 people on it, and it's dumping so hard you can't even see outside. It's just all snow, all white. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, we're gonna go down for sure. Like turbulence, everything. And I'm just thinking to myself, I was just like, well, this might be it. And when we came in for the approach, I just remember you couldn't even see the ground. I'm like, if I can't see the ground, how fucking these guys see the ground? You know? But we got there and I literally got the plane and I was like, you know when people land and they like kiss the ground or whatever, or they get off a boat, they kiss the ground? Like I literally thought about doing that. I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe we just made it. It was puking out there.
That's
Complete
nuts,
complete
yeah.
whiteout. Yeah, and I was like, after that, I was like, not a fan of little planes and yeah, whatever. But anyways, moving on. Who's your favorite people to shoot on the crew, if you have any? Don't be afraid to say your boy. It's okay.
Just kidding. Well, I was gonna say Stevie Bell, but now maybe I'll take that back.
Who's your favorite?
We always have fun together, Stevie. So I'd have
A little too much fun.
I'd give it to you. I'd give it to Kennedy in the Travis Kennedy days. That was some pretty memorable shit. Yoni was funny in his own way. Yeah.
I like how Yoni would like side,
You guys come to
he would
mind. What about you,
steal,
Tim?
he'd be like, Yoni would be like, he'd go to a rail and then like try it for half the day and then we would go on break and everybody would come up with a new plan to go to some other place. But then he would drive us back to the same rail.
Yeah, he did that a couple times. Just flexing the hierarchy right there.
Dude, do you guys remember? I think we were in Helsinki. I can't remember who's in the rail. I know it was me and Eddie and somebody else like that. But it was late. It was like 2:00 in the morning. We all got our shots. Yoni didn't want to hit it. We were cleaning up the spot. Broke the lights down, and Yoni goes, "Oh fuck, I think I'm gonna fucking hit it." So we had to rebuild everything, set everything else up, and we didn't get done till like 4 in the morning. Oh my god, I'll never forget. And then it was just a snow drop in, so we had to sling him in. And I just remember the next day I couldn't even feel my arm.
Was that the wall ride Malmy flip or whatever we called it over the fence, or was that a rail?
No, it was a down bar. I think he did like back tail 270 or something on it. It was like a tech rail, but yeah, I just remember just like we were literally done, almost packed up, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna hit this fucking thing." And we're like, "Fuck." All right.
Yeah, he did that a
Still
few
it.
times.
Yeah.
Did that a few times.
Yeah, Yoni's hilarious.
What about you, Tim? Who were your favorites?
Yeah, I was pretty much down to film with anybody, obviously for the job, but like whoever was like just into it, you know, like really into it. Like they wanted to be there, they wanted to get the shot, and was putting in the effort. I was just stoked to be a part of that. As in terms of like my
Hmm.
favorite people to shoot with, those were my favorite people. Like if someone wasn't feeling it or they're coming in half-ass, it kind of was a drag, which didn't really happen a lot, but you just wanted to be there with people that, because everybody's
Right.
putting in the same amount of effort.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. I think we all had days where we didn't want to be there, and you could
Oh yeah.
tell. But then there's days you wanted to be there, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember the Tim when we were in Anchorage, Alaska?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember yeah. Do you remember the last couple of days we were there? We
Yeah.
wanted to get the fuck out of there so bad.
Yep.
Everybody was just so over it.
I had
That's
basically
probably the one
lived
trip I
there
remember like where the
for
morale was the lowest. And it's not
I had basically lived there for like almost like a month and a half or 2 months, because I went on that Anchorage trip before, went home for Christmas with the bloody hand, and then went back again for like 3 weeks.
yeah,
Damn.
that place was brutal. Like Finland was cold, all of Scandinavia was cold, Russia was cold, but Alaska was extra cold.
Alaska was dark
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
all the
like more.
time.
Like
It's like more depressing up there too. Just like the vibes, right? Like when you're in Scandinavia, everything's cool and European and like kind of like there's like some modern and like old churches and all that stuff. Alaska just doesn't have any of that going.
No, no.
yeah, I've never seen so
In
much snow in my entire life
mid-December,
either.
you're
Like it
like,
snowed and snowed and snowed.
yeah, it was a brutal
But Tim,
place. But I mean, for me, I think I
yeah, it
got
was
like,
brutal. I mean, we got some cool shots actually.
yeah, like I think I got like 3 covers. I got this one. That was in Anchorage.
Oh yeah,
This was in Anchorage. This was in Anchorage.
Nice. Was it?
It's like all the same trip.
damn, you cleaned house out there. I remember that. I remember that spot. Yeah,
Wow.
I remember. Yeah,
Cool.
actually, one of my favorite shots that I ever got was that hand. Remember that handrail on the roof, Tim,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
where we were transferring into like off the roof into the. That was one of my front board. That was the white and green sweater. That was probably one of my favorite shots I ever got.
Sick.
Even though I hated that trip so much. What are some of the biggest challenges you guys faced while filming for Forum or working at Forum?
Okay. For me, it was for sure getting into Canada over and over and over again. Specifically Quebec. Like the first time I
Hmm.
went there, it was with Nick Save and Jeremy, and it. I when I got there, Ian and everybody told me to lie no matter what, like to the end of the earth. Lie. Do not tell them that you're there to shoot snowboarding professionally. And so when I got there on the last flight. It was like midnight when I got there, and this lady was relentless. She's like, "Why are you lying to me?" In this like French Canadian, "Why are you lying to me? I know you're lying. Why are you lying?" I was just like, finally, after like 5 minutes of just straight face lying, I was like, "All right, fine. That's what I'm doing here." And then she's like, threw up her hands, and then she's like, "There's nothing we can do about it now." And I had to get out of it because they were going to put me on a flight the next day to go home. But we worked it out, and then she let me in. But oftentimes going to Canada was like that, even after I wasn't lying.
I've had so much trouble at the border. I remember one year it was for that. The first time I went up there, I drove from Salt Lake to Tahoe, Portland, Seattle, and then went up there, and I got turned around and I had to drive all the way back down to Salt Lake. Me
Wow.
and Travis Kennedy. It was terrible. No, Travis ended up getting in, and I had to drive all the way back down to Salt Lake. No, he did. He got turned around too. Because we were shooting something for a catalog, and they forgot gear, so they shipped all the gear to Travis's house, and we put it in our trucks. So we had
Oh,
fucking so much snowboard gear, and they were like, "What are you guys doing with all this gear?" And then after that, every time I go in there, it's just like, oh, I don't know if I'm making it in or not. Let's see how it goes this time.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
that's so
until
crazy. Like, so go for it, Tim.
yeah, sorry, it wasn't until the last year that like Keller he did all the paperwork and we had like official entries into Canada with a work permit. And as soon as that happened, it was like it was easy. It was a nice experience.
Yeah, it definitely got easier over the years, but it's still just, yeah, a nightmare. So, Jeremy, do you have any border stories?
I mean, I didn't have to worry about the border so much because I was Canadian. Um, Coming down, not so much because I ended up getting a work visa through the program, so that helped. But yeah, I always thought it was interesting that that Canada seemed the most aggressive with letting people in their border or not versus the States, which is like severely anti-immigration these days. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was just kind of funny. Like Canada's supposed to be the friendly like neighbor kind of country, but like you guys all had such a hard time getting in the border.
Well, look
I
at
spent
us.
so many
We're a
hours in
bunch
the
of
Border Patrol
assholes.
office.
I
True,
mean, I would too if I
true,
was Canada.
very true. Maybe you should go work at the border, Tim. Uh, that's yeah. Canada was always like a crapshoot. I was always so nervous when I went there. I was like, God, I hope I get in. Because then it's like if you don't get in, then you got forum being like, or the program being like, well, why don't you get in? No, you can't go shoot, and then they got to put you on another trip if there is one. So if you weren't on it and there's not another trip, you can't do anything. You just sit there, which sucked. It happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're missing out, which sucks. But if you guys could relive one moment filming and working at Forum, what would it be and why?
I mean, phew, that's a tough one. Off the top of my head, I mean, the video premieres were always so sick. You know, like Forum really put together some amazing premieres for us. So to get everyone together at the end of a huge project and like show the video for the first time was always like pretty special and like usually a pretty epic night. You know, pretty awesome reward for our hard work all year and editing all summer long. So for me, I'd say yeah, those a lot of those premieres were great. That's the vacation premiere in Huntington Beach. I've got one of those
Yeah,
autograph posters too.
I've got the vacation DVD right here too.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Tim, what moment would you relive, and why?
Jeez. It's really hard to say, man. Like, there's so many moments that it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Some of them you don't even see coming. Like, for example, let me see if I could pull one up. Like this moment right here. This was in Cook City with Jake Blauvelt right here. It was my first cover that I ever got. Um, it's almost like it didn't even
That's
happen
sick.
because it was the most random thing. It was just like Heine doing like follow cams. Like Heine's right behind him doing a follow cam in that shot. And I just shot it and was like, yeah, whatever. And it turned into a cover. I'm like, I kind of would have liked to have known that that was going to happen. I had no idea.
Yeah.
The unexpected. That's dope.
That's really sick. Yeah.
I'd
What
have to
about you?
say
What about you, Stevie?
the vacation tour. I
Yeah.
do that 15 times over. That was the craziest experience I've ever gone through.
Sounds like a
Like
good one.
it's like I don't even have words to describe how insane it was. Like that was, like you always get nervous when premiere season comes around because you're like you don't know how people are gonna like receive your part. You don't know what kind of like feedback you're gonna get. And that was the first year I went in like I know people are gonna like this shit. It's gonna be dope. You know what I mean? So it just kind of was like not just
Nice.
like the confidence of the part, but like also the
Mm.
experience. You know?
I remember the year before at the Effet premiere. It was like really well received and it was like a good party. And I remember looking at you at one point and you were genuinely sad watching the video. I mean, genuinely sad. And I was like, damn, dude, what's up? But I guess
Mm.
I
that's
remember
the pressure that you put on yourself, because you wanted to give more, maybe. I'm not really sure. Why don't you tell me about that?
I think it starts from like that video because I was so young, I was so new to snowboarding, and then I get thrown into this pressure cooker with like the best dudes on the planet, and not really having the experience to produce the video part I wanted, and then forever it just kind of progressively got better, and then I think fuck it, I ended up getting injured a couple times, so I couldn't really film a ton, so I didn't have like a great part, and then I just remember like tour season of fuck it, just being like, that's it. Like my next video part is gonna be a banger. And I literally went into the summer and trained my ass off. I always trained my ass off, but I just had a different mindset around it
Hmm.
and just worked twice as hard as I normally do. And when vacation came around, I was like, that year of vacation, I felt like there wasn't anything I couldn't do. Which every other
Mm.
year, I felt like there's always limitations. Like, all right, okay, let's just like, I was just trying to make it through the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just make it through the year. Let's stay healthy. But vacation, I was like, I'll try and do whatever I want. And I know I'll land it. So it's just a whole different type of confidence. So I think that's where, and fuck it, or like during that tour season where I was just so bummed out because I knew what my potential was, but I just wasn't able to do it. So that's why I made sure in vacation it's just a different outcome.
That's a rad
And
story.
Kevin Keller,
I did.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I don't remember you. I mean, I guess I do remember you being a little bummed. That's when you had like the shared part with Cam, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool how you turned that into a positive, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like my part was like a minute maybe, and I was just like, "Fuck," so bummed out. I thought I was going forward because that
Yeah,
former
you don't
against
want to be a
them.
minute man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I was like progressively getting like they were getting longer and getting better, and then fuck it was just like the shortest one out of them all, and I was just like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but yeah, fuck it tour was fun
Got him
too.
back the
We did
next
a
year.
bust.
Got him back. Got him back
Yeah,
with
and then
vacation.
Keller kept telling me I couldn't jump, so I had to make sure that I put it to him. I love you,
I
Keller.
think
But
that's actually something
oh yeah.
interesting that you like what you're mentioning right now is interesting. It's like as good as the program was for everybody, they did restrict the riders a little bit in terms of being like, we don't want you jumping, or you're a real kid. We don't want you going into the backcountry. They literally told Austin Sweeten that he shouldn't be in the backcountry. It seems like bonkers now. He's like a
Well, and
backcountry
I
god.
get it, but I also don't get it because they did that to me a lot.
Yeah, he's
Straight
so
up.
sick.
Shout out to Austin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it as well because also you got to think about the team. You had Pat Moore, you had Devin at some point. We had
Totally.
RJ,
Totally.
Andreas, Daniel Eck could hold his own. Blavel, Welch could hold. So there was a lot of dudes that could actually just go destroy the backcountry. And so if you're going to spend money on people going to the backcountry, I get why they're like, okay, let's spend the money on the people who we know are going to go produce. Which is it's. I'll be honest, like there's a crapshoot sending myself, Nick Salve, and other riders in Austin into the backcountry because you don't know, but they know that in the streets we can produce. But at some point, it's like, how do we ever grow if we don't go out there and practice? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see both sides of the
Totally.
coin, I guess.
Yeah. You're right. I guess it's a management thing, in terms of finances and whatnot. But I mean, that kid was so good at everything.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch him grow and progress and just put out amazing video parts every year. And yeah, Austin's the man.
No. Yeah, Austin is super rad. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Just really quick too, though. Tim, do you remember that Cook City trip for vacation we took?
Yeah.
I think it was just me, Welch, and Nick, and then Nick got hurt, so it was just me and Welch. Like we
Yeah.
killed that trip.
Oh, it was so fun. Cook City is always a good time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
Cook
was
City
dope.
didn't come to the top of the list on
Yeah.
our things, but it's right there.
Cook
Is that where
City
you got
is
the
dope.
switchback double, Stevie?
Yeah,
On
that's
that
Cook
trip?
City. Yeah, and you remember Tim? Like we built the jump, and then Heine set up like fucking string around the whole landing, so sledders wouldn't go sled through our landing, and they literally still tried to, and Heine was just losing his shit, dude. It was fucking hilarious, but I'm glad he did because that jump turned out to be dope. Because I think Welch did back double 10 or something like that, and then I did switchback double 10. And that was a good day. I mean, that whole trip was really dope. Like we produced a lot of shit out of there.
Yeah, Heine was awesome. He did a
Yeah, it
lot
was
of
amazing.
peculiar things that you were like, what are we doing right now? So with that jump, we went there in advance and literally walked up and down the landing the whole day. We just walked
Mhm.
up and down it, so that it would be firm when it snowed over the top of it, and wouldn't have any like gremlins or whatever in it. And then he put a rope around the entire jump. I mean, this is a huge police caution tape around in the
Huge.
middle of the backcountry.
Wow.
It was crazy, but it was successful, and I would never have thought to do something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heine is like he's a bit of a genius. He's like the savant genius. Like
I agree.
he's
I
got those
agree.
ideas, and they've worked for him so many times.
Yeah.
And then on the
Heine
flip
is
side,
definitely
he's just an
legendary.
absolute madman.
I just think it's funny, like filming with Heine. Every time there's like a little time in between, if you just hear him fire up his sled, take off, go do a couple laps, and then come back and like, all right, I'm ready. You're like, dude, did you have to go do that? Always. Always such a rooper, man. Sick.
This episode is brought to you by BYOB. Be your own banker. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only two types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money.
I want to give a big shout out to Snowbird. Snowbird is your one-stop shop entertainment all year round. Whether it's catching deep powder in the winter or going up with your friends and family during the summer and riding the aerial tram or the roller coaster, and one of my personal favorites during the fall, Oktoberfest. Go to snowbird.com, get your tickets. I'll see you up there.
Well, hell yeah, boys. Let's get down to the end of this thing. Last question. If you had to give some advice to somebody that's looking to be a photographer or a filmer in the industry, what would it be? Since Jeremy's been pointing to you every time when I ask a question, Tim, you go first on this one.
Okay. Well, I guess for me, from my experience, it was about being part of this team, and so being a photographer meant more than just taking good photos. Obviously, at like the minimum, you want to work on your talent. The talent needs to be there, but then it's also all the social stuff. It's being part of the crew, working out differences, managing like hotels and car rentals and all this stuff. It's really more like a team manager, and just keeping it together, because you need those skills to be successful in this particular job.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. Um, yeah, because I mean, I was gonna say like just get a camera and start shooting. Like shoot everything, shoot your friends, start shooting, start editing your footage, start going over your footage. That really helps. I mean, I think that helped me was I'd always edit my footage, so you review it, you kind of can grow that way.
Hmm.
Um, but then yeah, once you're kind of in this game, like yeah, then a lot of personality stuff has to come into play, like Tim said. So I think Tim's answer is great. I think yeah, you gotta be able to be a team player and work together with people and like find solutions. You got to be a problem solver. You've got to be sometimes you got to be a therapist. Sometimes you sometimes sometimes you got to be a team manager. Sometimes yeah. So you gotta be ready to kind of handle the whole gamut of it. It's not just looking through the camera. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like the fun
Yeah,
part,
that's dope advice. That's really good advice.
Hmm.
shooting
Go ahead,
and
Tim.
that kind of
That's
stuff.
that's
That's
the
like,
foundation of it, right?
yeah, and then there's just so much more. It's just ridiculous, actually. But and I mean, I guess that's true in life too. Like you got to be good at a lot of things. And like you said, problem solving, just learn how to tie a knot.
Tim's got the knots.
Tim's got the knots.
Tim's got a good
Uh,
knot game.
yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy game, and there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, the landscape's changed a lot. It's not just heavy video parts anymore. Social media obviously changed, and it's riding park and putting out edits, which I think is dope. It's more relatable. But for the heavy, just video part people, listen to these guys' advice. It'll help. So, yeah.
Hopefully.
Any final words?
Yeah.
Thanks for having
I
us.
love you
Stevie.
guys.
It was awesome.
I love you guys.
Awesome to reconnect with you guys.
Thank you so much for the time that we got to share in the
Yeah,
past.
you guys too.
And it's really cool to see your guys' face again.
I know. Yeah, that was the kind of the best thing about this today was just getting to hang with you guys.
Heck
See
yeah.
you
Yeah,
again.
fuck yeah. I wish we were in person, but hey, it is what it is. I know we all got busy lives. But yeah, I'm
Next
stoked
time.
that you guys were able to make it, and love you guys. We had some good times. It's fun to jog the memory and, kind of
Mhm.
relive some of those moments, and I can't wait to share this. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and thanks for joining.
Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for joining Switchboard Podcast. I hope you enjoyed episode 9. Episode 10, we're going to go back to some of the team riders. We also have some insights from Kevin Keller, our team manager. Stay tuned.